Welcome to Talk Birdie. This is Australia's most popular golf podcast, with former world number 16 Nick O'Hearn, the only player to beat Tiger Woods twice in match play, and tour pro Mark Allen, who played professional golf around the world for 15 years, including a British Open. We're coming from our studio at Titleist and FootJoy headquarters. Titleist is the #1 ball in golf, and FootJoy is the #1 shoe and glove in golf. And thanks to our great partners, Watch My Numbers, the most powerful database golf app in the world. Download from the App Store or Google Play. Ping, as with Nick O'Hearn, will help you play your best. See your local golf shop or professional for a Ping Club fitting. The Golf Clearance Outlet beat everyone's prices. Visit golfclearanceoutlet.com.au for your nearest store. And Better, the fastest and easiest betting app in Australia. Now that's better. Now, from our studio at Titleist and FootJoy headquarters, it's time for Talk Birdie to me. Here's Nick O'Hearn and Mark Allen. All right, boys. Are you ready for the brutal feedback that is coming your way?
I'm almost ready.
Brutal?
I'm almost ready because I've got some feedback for the latest PGA Tour winner, Joe Highsmith.
Oh, okay.
How the hell do you win wearing something as stupid as this? Is what I want to know. I mean, honestly, how do you swing a club in this stupid hat?
Well, he did make it look a bit better than what you're making it look right now.
How do you swing a club in this crazy beekeeper Titleist hat and putt with the most unusual putting grip I've ever seen, the reverse cack-handed claw? And he shot 64. He didn't miss a putt under, what, 10 feet for the weekend?
For the weekend. Incredible.
Using the cack-handed claw.
Yes.
And that hat.
And this hat.
Two wrongs make a right sometimes.
Anyway.
Yeah, okay.
Let's move on.
All right, some feedback, guys. Here's what we've got. This is from Christopher Cannon. Christopher is, this is kind of it's not really a question, it's a statement, really.
Right.
Is there anything stupider than grown men turning up as spectators to a tournament in full golf attire, but without golf clubs?
It is unusual.
Well, it depends if they've just come from their own game. You know, they played in the morning and then they walk out that afternoon and thought, you know what, I'm going to go watch some golf. If they've got the spikes on, I think it's a bit of a worry.
Now, you played in the Masters a number of times.
Sure.
I went there a hell of a lot. And I will say this.
You were fully kitted up.
No, I wasn't. 90% of the folks who went through the gates at Augusta looked like they had a tea time. They didn't look like they were spectating a sports event.
Okay.
They were dressed in their Sunday best, whatever their greatest outfit was. A lot of them, maybe 90% is too much, 80%. But to me, it's always strange. You know, if I ever go watch the golf, my shirt's hanging out. I've got a pair of runners on.
Yeah. You know what the worst thing about, when you're playing on tour or if you're playing a tournament and you might have worn something which looks good on the golf course.
Yes.
Okay, colourful.
Yes.
But then you get a phone call and you've got to stop at the grocery store on the way home. And all of a sudden you're going, yeah, these pants and these shoes and this shirt probably don't look great in normal life.
You look more like a pimp than you do a person getting around the streets.
Interestingly, the funniest one for myself was we were playing a tournament, a place called Coeur d'Ivoire. It was in the fall series on the PGA Tour, just north of San Francisco, or just south of San Francisco. I can't remember. Anyway, we ended up having a practice round at, I've never played Olympic. So we thought, we'll go play Olympic. But rather than go back to where we were staying at the hotel, we got a call saying, look, there's a baseball game on. The Detroit Tigers are playing the Oakland A's in the playoffs.
You did not go to the baseball dressed like a golfer.
I went to the baseball. Now, the sponsor of the tournament, I can't remember which car company it was, but we rock up, and over there where they have the, what do they call it, the trailer?
Oh, the tailgating.
The tailgating, tailgating. We rock up into the car park in this brand new, it could have been a Merc, it could have been a Lexus or a BMW, I can't remember whatever it was, but we rock up in this brand new car, and you've got all these people tailgating out of the back of pickup trucks. We get out of the car dressed like we are in golf gear.
Pimps.
Like pimps. And they were giving us the stares, and I'm walking into the stadium, and I say to my mate, Dan McQuilkin, who was caddying for me at the time, funnily enough, and I said, Dan, I'm not sure our car's going to be there when we get back, and if we don't get beat up, well, there's something wrong. Because Oakland, by the way, the Oakland A is one of the roughest areas over there too. Right. So it was a fun day, I'll say that.
Yeah, there are some items of clothing that maybe don't translate to other occasions. No. But bowling shoes are the other one.
Yeah, bowling shoes.
Bowling shoes.
Yeah, that's true.
In a bowling alley, perfect.
No worries.
Yeah, outside a bowling alley, you'd look like a bit of a tool.
Or a kid's birthday party. You'll come as a clown.
Righto. This is from Rochey, your mate Rochey. Question from Mark Allen.
Yes.
You rate a 59 lower when it's on a par 71 course. However, par 71s usually have one less par 5, for example, PGA National. Isn't it at least as difficult to get 59 when there's only 3 par 5s, especially with the irons that these guys hit into them?
No, because even though a lot of these holes have gone from a members par 5 to a tour par 4, they change it up a little bit, and it's not as silly. So I know what you're saying, Rochey. Yes, you've made a good point, but no, mentally, shooting 12 under is much easier than shooting 13 under.
Do you get on with Rochey?
Not much. No. He's a lefty from way back, Rochey.
I want to see the first 59 come on a par 73 course.
Yes.
There aren't that many par 73s around.
Yeah.
Where was the course we used to play in Australia? It used to be
Huntingdale?
Huntingdale?
Huntingdale was a par 73, yep, the Masters.
I wonder what the lowest score ever shot there was when it was a 73.
I think Bradley Hughes shot 64.
Okay, so there was 5 par 5s?
That's when it was a par 73.
Did they have 3 par 3s?
3 par 3s.
So I didn't know how they did it. So.
Yeah. The third was a par 3. Remember, they changed the fifth hole to a par 3.
Yes.
That's how they got the par. So it's 3 par 3s and 4 par 5s.
Okay, an email from Tom here. Tom has said, "Hey guys, I went to LIV a couple of weeks ago in Adelaide, had a great time. Whilst we were there, we played Mount Compass, a ripper course, and great people. Finished a good round with a lobster roll and a beer." Well, that sounds that sounds pretty good. I highly recommend it. Now, on LIV, it was so good to see a whole bunch of superstars playing in Australia. However, and this is the question for you guys, I feel the shotgun start on the last day takes away from a great finish. There's something special about seeing the groups coming down 18 with the pressure on and the crowd watching it unfold. Love the pod. Thanks, guys. I love your thoughts. That's from Tom at Long Reef Golf Club in Collaroy in Sydney.
Yes, I think just 1 or 2 or 3 groups left on the golf course is always a nice way of doing it. Did they stagger the shotgun?
I think the final day, they either have 2 or 3 groups teeing off the first.
Yeah.
But what I'm most surprised of, and I don't think it's happened yet, is someone finishing on the 1st or the 17th that has gone on to win the tournament. I don't think it's happened yet.
Okay.
So
they've always come out of the last 3 groups.
I think it's always come out of the last 3.
Well, very rarely if it hasn't.
Maybe, I don't know.
That's the questions for this first half of the feedback pod. We've got 2 more. One is a question, or it's an idea that somebody's suggesting we could do, and the other one is a question around your short game, Marco.
Okay. My short game.
Your short game.
I have one question for Mark. Is he going to take this silly hat off, please? Because it's just disturbing looking at you.
No, I'm going to leave it on.
More speed off the tee. More control with your irons. More spin with your wedges. And more opportunity to shoot lower scores. The all-new Pro V1 and Pro V1X.
We're live from our studio at Titleist and FootJoy headquarters. We all know the number 1 ball in golf is Titleist and the number 1 shoe and glove in golf is FootJoy. We're here thanks to the Golf Clearance Outlet. They beat everyone's prices. Ping will always help you play your best. Turn your bogeys into birdies with the Watch My Numbers app. And Better, the fastest and easiest betting app in Australia. That's better. Now, back to Talk Birdie to Me. Here's Nick and Mark.
Okay, let's get moving. Hey, before you do get to the last couple of questions, I've got a pair of these. The new Premier Series FootJoy.
They look good.
My God. Were they good to walk? Not you know how sometimes you're going to get a blister
Yep.
when you get new shoes? Not even close.
What colour you got them in? Are they matching your glasses or?
No, they're not matching my glasses. No, they're not. But they are a beautiful shoe, the latest Premier Series from FootJoy.
Okay.
Gorgeous.
Do you know how the pod earlier in the week we played the video of Jeff Guan's swing in Sydney?
Yes.
And you said, who sent that in? And I couldn't remember at the time. I went back and had a look. It was Daniel Nichols from
good on you,
Sydney.
Daniel.
So Daniel
Thank
sent
you.
it in. So thank you very much, Daniel.
Thank you, Daniel.
We appreciate that. A couple more bits of feedback here. This one from Warwick. Warwick has said, "G'day, Nick and Mark. I love your podcasts. I've listened to nearly all of them." Nearly?
Yeah.
Well, that's average.
What's the issue?
Come on, what's going on? Warwick, anything we need to look at? I have a suggestion which I think may be beneficial to the show without having any material impact on the recording time. Wow, he's thinking of us, which is nice.
Wow, it's nice.
I'd like you to include a topical golf-related quiz question late in every episode or select episodes, encouraging listeners to do some research and have a sponsor offer a prize to the winner. Interesting.
Very.
I love quizzes on radio. I think they work. Quizzes on podcast, unless I'm quizzing you, Nick, I don't think it works.
Okay.
But he's talking about homework for listeners.
Yeah. So we pose a question for everyone, all of our listeners, to send in their answers, and I guess it comes back out on feedback. Right?
Well, I like the
don't know.
idea. I like the idea. The problem is everyone's got Google these days.
Yeah, that's true.
So you whack a question on the pod, and within about 3 seconds, you've got you know.
Well, or you've got GPT.
GPT.
and
Or you got Grok.
you ask
if
some
you're on
random
X.
stuff, and it comes up with things I can't
that's right.
believe.
What's Grok?
So,
Grok is Twitter. So on X, you've got a little Grok button, and that's a version of Chat GPT.
Oh, right.
it's AI.
Right.
And you get
Works
it for
well.
free, apparently.
Do you know what?
It works quite well. You
Now
get it
you
for free,
Now you say it. I think I've seen it there. I've just never looked at it. I've never
Yeah, that's
clicked on
what
that
it is.
tab.
Right.
All right, final question here. This is from Anthony. Hello, Marco and Nick. I love the podcast. A question. Marco, you have recently talked of a change to your short game.
Yes.
Where you are utilising the bounce more with a neutral shaft position.
Yes.
If this is a recent development in the short game, I'd like to know how were players like Norman, Parry, Baker Finch so successful in the 80s and 90s on the sandbelt courses? Were they using the leading edge or the bounce of the wedge?
That's a good question. I reckon Parry was a leading edge guy. He had shaft lean. I reckon Greg Norman, the shaft was more neutral when he was at chipping. Sevi Ballesteros did what he liked. Bernard Langer had the shaft leaning forward. So, look, basically, if you want to know what it is, if the shaft leans forward at impact, then you're not using any bounce. If the shaft is very neutral at impact, then if you've got a lot of bounce, if you've got 10 degrees bounce or 12 degrees bounce, or in some, my 55-degree wedge has got 15 degrees bounce.
15?
15.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gosh.
So if you've got that set up and the shaft is pointing to your belly button at impact or maybe just a hair forward, then you're using the bounce.
At the end of the day, and you've mentioned this before, it all comes down to how much you practice.
Yeah.
So if you put in the hours of work, like tour pros do, I was very much a leading edge type player because I trusted my hands. I had good feel. Chipping was a strength of mine. Now, if it's not, more the neutral high bounce sort of setup would be better for you if you don't practice as much as well. However, there are tour pros out there now who use a lot of bounce.
Yeah.
And they still have the neutral sort of shaft angles and things like that. So everyone's different. Just do whatever you feel comfortable with under pressure.
While I'm wearing the Joe Highsmith hat, I think we've got in your bag of tricks there, Dan, the Joe Highsmith Vokey wedge setup.
Oh, yes.
So
how many wedges did he carry?
He had a 46,
46.
a 50, a 54, and a 58.
Right.
So let's put it
That'll
up
have
there,
all the
Dan.
bounces,
You can
I'm
see that.
assuming.
So on his 46, he's got 10 degrees bounce. On the 50, he's got 12. On the 54 degree, he's got 14 degrees bounce. So that's the same model. And they're all fairway, so it'll have a little F after it. But have a look at his 58 degree. It's got low bounce. So he's got a 58 degree.
4 degrees.
That's right. And the reason he does that is because he likes to open up his 58 around the greens, which, of course, puts more bounce on the clubs.
Yep. So he turns a 58 into a 60, basically, by opening it up.
Yeah, that's right. So that's the SM10 wedges, and you can see there's a little bit of text underneath. It says that a lot of players are using as high a bounce as possible with the F on the 46, the 50, and their 54 to 56. But for the lob wedge, the best tour players are using lower bounce.
And the T is for tour player?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's right.
Interesting. Yeah, I was about a 6-degree bounce person myself.
Yeah.
When I played in the day, but I got the latest Vokeys myself recently.
And what'd you
it's
go?
the one Scotty Scheffler uses. It's the K grind with some fancy grinding at the back and the front. So I can use the leading edge, I can use the bounce. It's around 4 to 6, I believe, something like that.
The trick is, folks,
I never look at the bottom, so I don't know.
if you're actually looking to get some new wedges, go get a wedge fit.
Yeah.
You know, we've spoken about a ball fit. We've spoken about you get your irons fitted, and
The driver.
The driver is just a must to get that fitted because of the different shaft and spin rates and everything else if you want to max your distance. But getting a wedge fit
Huge.
is enormous.
Yeah.
Absolutely enormous, particularly if your bunkers don't have much sand in it, or if you're playing off kikuyu grass most of the time versus a really low cut couch grass, poa, fescue if you're playing down in Tasmania. It's very, very different for where you play. So make sure you get a wedge fit if you can.
Well, that's the feedback for this particular pod, guys. And keep it coming in. We love it. If you can go to our socials or our website, talkbirdietome.com.au, you can email us, you can message, whatever, and let us know what you reckon or any questions you might have for the boys, and they'll answer it. Now, I suspect we'll get some feedback next week on this ridiculous hat.
Yes.
By the way.
Like,
care.
how many fish did you catch? So,
I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm wearing it because Joe Highsmith looks ridiculous in his beekeeper's hat.
He's a PGA Tour winner.
I'm going to make a call.
makes me sick, yeah.
You wear that hat to home, and you will not get any affection
I wouldn't get
from
through the
Trish
front-
for
I
a
wouldn't
year.
I wouldn't get through the front door.
All right, thanks, boys.
See you, boys.
All right, cheers.
And that's been Talk Birdie, Australia's most popular golf podcast, with Nick O'Hearn and Mark Allen, coming from our studio at Titleist and FootJoy headquarters. As everyone knows, Titleist is the #1 ball in golf, and FootJoy, the #1 shoe and glove in golf. Wherever you get your podcasts, make sure to subscribe, maybe leave a review, and we'd love you to share the pod with a friend who loves their golf. Huge thanks to our fantastic partners. Ping, like they do for Nick O'Hearn, will help you play your best. You can see your local golf shop or professional for a Ping Club fitting. The Golf Clearance Outlet always beat everyone's prices. Visit golfclearanceoutlet.com.au for your nearest store. Watch My Numbers is the most powerful data-based golf app in the world. You can download from the App Store or Google Play. And better, they've got the fastest and easiest betting app in Australia. Download from the App Stores today. Now that's better. Keep in mind, what are you really gambling with? But for now, from our studio at Titleist and FootJoy headquarters, thanks for being a part of the show. We'll see you next time.
Looks good, man. Dude. Are we in slow motion too?